All right, well, that was a quick one. So let's continue on. Now we want to make this handler work in the serverless environment. So kind of as you can see right now, this last line here is kind of key. This just basically says, hey, sit in a loop listening on port 3000. And that's not what we want to do in the serverless environment. In the serverless environment, we would like basically our request, it comes in, and we want to call this and handle one request, and then we're done. So there's a nice little library that makes this really easy to do. We're going to go over here, we're going to go npm install, and I think it's serverless HTTP. Good, yeah, that was the right library. I also know that I need the cores library. I could leave that out and deal with the error when we get there, but I know I'm going to need it, so cores is in there too. Alright, so now we need to update our handler to use serverless HTTP. I'm going to grab, it's just a common chunk of code. So we need to replace this bottom thing. We're no longer going to listen on port 3000. Instead, the incoming request will be basically passed into here. Pretty easy stuff when you think about it. Right. Now, I need the naming to be correct. If we go to so right now this is saying, hey, in handler.js, I'm exporting a function called handler. I think we called it hello. So let me just check. That would be in our serverless YAML file. And yeah, so we actually said that the name of the function was hello. So I'm going to rename it. Do I want to call it handler? Let's call it request handler. That's a little better. I could call it anything I want. HTTP handler. Ooh, actually, that makes sense. Good names pay off in the long run. So, this is our HTTP handler, and over in our serverless YAML, we say HTTP handler, and there. Okay, the way to read this is, actually I don't need to go into the details, but basically we have a handler. It's a Lambda. Like, what is this Lambda function all about? Well, just go to the handler.js file and call that handler HTTP handler function. Simple as that. All right. So back to our JS file. So it doesn't do much right now. Let's add a little more to this. So first of all, I know that we need to bring in those libraries. I'll just copy that. So there's cores, there's the serverless, and you can see if I didn't bring this in, well, we would have had a runtime error. Next up, I want to initialize some of the middleware. So there we go. This basically adds the plumbing to handle cores requests. It's kind of transparent. You just enable it and it works. You can picture, these option requests coming in. This responds in the right way. This makes it even easier for us to use JSON. So let's keep it simple. Let's see, anything else? You know what? I really like it when we get a good error if we call a path that's not correct. So I'll grab another piece of code that's common and just paste it in here. So this is saying if we get to this point and no one's processed the request yet, then I'll just log an error, and I'm going to return 404 no matching API found. Cool. Now another thing, let's call this the hello endpoint. So right now we got an endpoint called hello. If you do a get on it, we'll respond hello world. That sounds good. Yeah, simple stuff. Let's do that. Okay, I think we can give this a shot. Let's try to deploy this. So we're going to say serverless deploy. Once again, we're wrapping that all up, sending it off to AWS, where it updates the appropriate bits. And then this should be callable. This should be callable soon from Postman. So I might as well get into Postman. I'll just do this. So this was our previous call, dev test. I will remind you, our endpoint is actually this. The dev is because we have a dev stack. Well, we have the option for like a dev stack, a QA stack, a prod stack, whatever. So actually, I'll call the test one first because we know we put some code in here that's supposed to say, 404 if I don't have an endpoint. So let's wait for this to deploy. Then we're going to send this, and we're expecting an API not found message. And you can actually see that I tried this earlier and yeah, it did what I wanted it to do. So let's give it a shot. Yes, API not found. Great. Now what about if we said hello? There we go. Now, one thing you'll notice, in this case, it was just text, and the other one was JSON, and that's kind of up to us. We can return whatever's appropriate for the endpoint. Yeah. Okay, looking good. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.